When I'm not busy counting all the money I've made off of Reverb Nation, I like to answer questions that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. A bit off topic, but Sean, do you have any advice on writing moody, sad riffs or songs, like any scales, chord progressions, or mode progressions, if that's the thing you recommend? Keep in mind when trying to write more moody stuff. So the hippie answer would be to just look inside the pain of your heart, and then just have your instrument emote that in the purest way possible. But really, if you're having trouble writing moody stuff, think just about minor chords and the minor scale. And especially if you're like making chord progressions, like I hammer home in all these videos, the second, third, and sixth notes in any key become minor chords. So in the key of C, that would be D minor, E minor, and A minor. So let's say you have a 4-chord progression. Really try to make 3 of those 4 chords those minor chords, right? So if you want to do something in the key of C, stay away from the C major one, the tonic of the key, right? And then, so let's take the 4 chord and all the other minor chords in there, all right? So if we have A minor, the relative minor, to the 3 chord, E minor, to the 4 chord, which is major, and then maybe the 2, D minor. It doesn't really matter how I strum this. We got 4 minor chords. The only major chord I have is the 4, which is the saddest of the 3 major chords. And that's, you know, it's a pretty moody, somber type thing, in my opinion. As far as like melodically, if you want to do more riffs, really just try to incorporate some of those things that make minor chords special, which would happen to be, like there's A, the minor third, and a minor 7. However you want to kind of incorporate those, they'll always kind of yield more of like a moody thing. And, you know, moody is still kind of interpretive, depending on what kind of music you listen to, but just kind of like check out artists that you like and, you know, kind of see how they use moodiness to their advantage, and then really try to deconstruct and evaluate what they're doing in their own songwriting. Try to incorporate it into your own. Thoughts on right hand versus left hand for right-handed players? Your left hand shows what you know, and your right hand shows who you are. Excellent point, Jeff. And I think so often for beginner intermediate players, the right hand, or the strumming picking hand, is really overlooked as far as when it comes to maybe practicing. I know for a fact that was me. I was really just more concerned about trying to get my fingers on my fretting hand in the right place and do different riffs. I wasn't really too concerned with how it sounded. But he's right, you know, like your left hand kind of shows how you're moving around the fretboard, everything that you know, the songs you know, and kind of like the shapes and the patterns. And your picking hand is responsible for a lot of the tone of the instrument. Not all of it, because definitely how you approach the strings and kind of how much vibrato you put on it, just kind of how, you know, your fingers attack the string have a lot to do with your tone. But how you choose to play it with your right hand or strumming hand. Again, I'm a lefty that plays righty, so I'm kind of sensitive about always saying right-handed, trying not to leave the lefties out. Hugely important. So again, once I kind of realized the importance of it, I really incorporate a lot of palm muting into my playing, and I felt like my dynamics and playing improved immensely once I really started concentrating on, okay, how do I want to hit this? Do I want to really drive it? Do I want to kind of maybe play it more finger style? A million different things you can do with your picking, strumming hand. So just be more thoughtful about it, and you might kind of adapt your style in ways that you hadn't even imagined. How to pick a local guitar teacher. Picking a teacher is one of the most important things that you'll ever run across in your guitar journey, if you choose to do so. And my best advice to you is to cut bait quickly if it's not working out. I think a lot of times you'll just mesh with a teacher. I know I do with certain students, and not every teacher is for everybody. Even a seasoned, likable professional like myself will still have certain students that we're just not vibing with, because everybody learns differently, so everybody's going to kind of benefit from a different approach. But I think a lot of times, like I've had students, maybe if they weren't feeling it for whatever reason, they didn't want to like disappoint me and say they didn't want to stop taking lessons anymore. And I think that's just dumb, because then you're just wasting money if you're not inspired by the instrument. So if, you know, maybe you're trying to pick a local teacher and you don't know a lot of people, you just want to try somebody out because maybe you've heard something good about him or her, check it out. Don't get signed into any kind of long-term commitment. I'm really against those type of things. And if it's not going well the first few times, try somebody else. So often we can just get locked into just shelling out money week after week and not really feeling like a benefit from it because you're afraid to say something or you're afraid to hurt somebody's feelings. But honestly, as someone who's been teaching for a long time, I personally would much rather just have it if a student was honest with me. It's not gonna hurt my feelings, you know? I want what's best for that person and I want them to be inspired by that instrument. So again, try a few people out because, and maybe just more than one lesson. Like sometimes you can tell right away with one lesson, but other times you kind of want to get a feel for their teaching. Come prepared with questions and maybe your goals. Otherwise, I think something that like a lot of teachers do is maybe they'll fall into a routine of teaching the same kind of lesson from the beginning. I'm a big fan of like adaptive teaching. So whatever, you know, that person wants to learn, I try to like steer it towards that direction. So if someone comes to me with clear goals of what they want to do and maybe a specific artist that they really like and they want to kind of incorporate into their own playing, I think that's huge. So come prepared with goals that you have, stuff that you like, and just kind of have a clear picture of what you want to be taught when you're picking a teacher. And if it's not going well right away, don't just kind of like suffer through it and waste a lot of money. Cut bait respectfully and then find somebody else. This is pretty great. You just don't get it. She doesn't ask to find out if you know any chords. She asks to see if your voice has any bass to it, or if you sound like a fag. I think you know what your real problem is now. So this is Bigoted Salty Blues comment of the week, and it's not over yet because he actually edited it to make it more PC. And he changed it to, she asks to see if your voice has any bass to it, or if you sound like a homo douche. You know that the movement in 2017 was working really well when even the nastiest of trolls will take time to edit their bigoted statements from fag to homo douche to make it a little more PC. Which then, a few minutes later, he deleted, but he didn't realize that I get notifications on comments, so I quickly screenshotted those like a ninja. You can't get anything by me. So for listening homework, we're gonna punk out this week because I don't really do a lot of like that older punk stuff, but as you all know, I'm a huge Queens of Stone Age fan. And to me, one of the bands that my students has gotten me into because he really wanted to learn a lot of the stuff is the Misfits. And listening to the Static Age, the album by the Misfits, made me realize that this band is really kind of like the precursor to Queens of the Stone Age. So I'm going to link you to the Static Age and let me know what you guys think. And as always, any questions or comments you have, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.